Okay, reviewing cast on Busan. Jeez, okay. I watched the VOD already. I've got a couple points here. On this map, I think it's called Downtown. I want to say this map's called Downtown. I always roll out left side. This fight here is so strong for Cassidy because there's not a lot of good angles to fight to fight other than like in the doors, right? Or yeah, there's just not a lot of great ways for the enemy team to contest it. And you can play around this mega so well. Your roll distance is like pretty much from here to here. So you can roll to the mega super easily. Like this is one of my favorite health packs to play around in the game as Cassidy. So I always roll out left side. It's also good if the enemy team runs flankers. Like Tracer, Genji, Sombra. They are always going to roll out right side as well. Because it's also really good for them. But what's good for them is generally good for you as well. This is even better. I'd say it's favoring you outside of the Sombra matchup. It's going to be favoring you. On the Sombra matchup, you just got to be... If you see the health pack, you just don't want to play in the room. You want to play outside of it. If you see the hack get on the health pack, you don't want to play inside the room. That's just one thing to keep in mind. But other than that, you want to play around stun here and try to win duels. You never want to come main because they could be playing, in this case, they are playing Widow and Ashe, but they could be playing Widow and Ashe in Sojourn, who are really good at poking out this angle here, as well as Kiri, as well as Zen. Like, there's a lot of poke characters that can really screw you out of main. Here, you play the same angles that I do. This angle is really strong as Cassie on defense. It's really hard to get you out of here, especially if your tank plays correctly. And then you can also play around the trees in the mega, just generally. Like this side of the map is really advantageous for you. Of course, you don't want to really be on point at all. You also don't really want to be playing around here. I hardly ever flank this way, down alley. Only when my team is stuck in choke will I come here. Yeah, I basically never come this way. But yeah. So I just want to point something out. So the reason I like my rollout more is if you rolled out here, you're not with your team, you'll be able to fight this Ashe. And who wins this matchup? You do. You win this for sure. You'll have the mega and she'll be ADS. She'll probably hear you and dynamite you, but you'll have the mega to play around. Yeah, so we feel like we're low value because we're taking a low value angle, which is going down main. And notice that you got shots on Ryan. Why? Because you're playing an off angle, which is the left side of the map. One thing to keep in mind is Cass. A lot of people say Cass is a flanker counter, like you counter Genji, you counter Tracer, whatever. I don't really think that's true. I think Cassidy's more of a he's definitely not I wouldn't say a hard counter. He could be a soft counter, but how he's best played is to mark angles, right? If you just exist here, you're one of the strongest characters to play around this. You Reaper, like, you can play around this so well, and no one can really contest you unless the whole team comes or the Reinhardt comes or whatever, right? So you just need to contest and live, right? In this case, you're gonna get so much value because you can win fights here, and you can shoot tank in the side, and you can do stuff like that because you're playing an off angle. So here you're down 2. I think you're down 2. Both your ports died. In this situation, you end up pushing forward. But because you're so far back out of the fight, in this situation, I would just roll back to spawn and wait for my team. If I were closer, let's say I was playing this angle, I would actually do the play you're about to make, which is flank and try something crazy to try to turn the fight. But this play ends up working out for you, but it's just kind of late because of how far away you're positioned. I think at higher elos, this play doesn't work because your Sig will die earlier and so will your Torbjorn because there's no supports alive. But in this elo, it works. So I would just keep in mind, like, it is good as Cassidy to go for these huge swing plays when the fight is being lost. But I think if you do it too much, it'll be a bad habit. As you rank up, you'll kind of get a better feel for it because plays like this will just stop working and you'll start staggering instead of something happening. Yeah, so you get to, I mean, this is a good play. You also had good aim. Like, you set this up very well. You want to be emulating this a lot as Cassidy, but I think this won't work at higher elo. You can argue to roll for that honor there, but you already know your team is coming back, and after getting 2 kills there, that's actually huge for you guys. So I think playing your life is fine. Yeah, I think this angle is probably your strongest angle, but also just keep in mind that this is an option. I like playing here on defense when they don't have a character like Lucio or Juno, because when they don't have those speed boosts, it's a little bit easier for you to kite if the enemy team is pushing. But I like playing this angle because it denies space from flankers. So even though this is strong, at the end of the day, you're not creating space or maintaining space for your team. You're just establishing basically a crossfire, and you're going to be able to put out pressure, right? This is kind of like an Ashe way of thinking, which is just like kind of sit in main and shoot people whenever you stand here. But I think the more Cassidy, like the more natural Cassidy way to play the game is to be like right here and deny the flank. Because if you think about it, what's a tracer want to do? They want to get behind people. How am I going to get behind people's tracer? Well, I have this angle. I can come out main and maybe triple blink here, or I can come right side. Well, if you're Cassidy, you can deny 2 of those options by playing here, right? So I'm not saying that you're not making a good play here. I just think you have options, because you basically never play this side of the map. So I just want to point that out. Oh, this isn't you. This is the other guy. Okay, there we go. See, like, look, you'd be able to deny this Ashe this space here. You'd be able to basically cut her off. Yeah, and here's the thing, like, you can kind of see how it cascades here. This Ashe gets an off angle. It forces your Torb's attention. It forces your Orisa's attention. Your Orisa is now on this side of the map while the enemy team is pushing forward. I don't really know what the Rhine is doing there, man. But you can kind of see how that could have been bad for you, right? So, if these guys were smart, they could see, oh my god, the other guys are there, and maybe they just speed past the tank and force point, right? Like, it opens up some windows. But your Torbjorn does a good job of marking the Ashe at the end of the day. But you know, there's a world where this Torb's not here, and this Ashe can poke for free. One thing to just, in my opinion, how you should be playing, how I play the game is I don't depend on teammates at all. If there's an angle that needs to be marked, I mark the angle. Okay, I don't let this Torbjorn do it. Unless he's already there, I don't let him do it. I do it myself. Right, so I don't trust my rando teammates to mark this angle, deny the space. Right, I will do it, and I will just play safe. Right, you know, you're gonna have to read the fight and figure out, okay, should I actually be main this fight because of how many ultis we have? Should I, you know, do I not have enough time to make it? Like, you'll have to think about it, but that's just my philosophy. And now that their Cassidy is gonna take that space. I just kind of want to see how this works out. Yeah, see? So, okay, so this ends up being kind of awkward for you. Cassidy takes that space, and now he's like, oh, there's no one here to mark me. I can just take all the space for free. He's able to shoot you in the back as a result, right? So, like, in this situation, if I was playing this angle, and I realized the enemy team is coming the far right flank, I would just walk out this way and then start trying to push from behind this way. You'll basically never have enough time to go for a flank, so you'll never do that. But you'll be able to come from behind or come a little bit later to the fight this way. I think it's worth the loss of value. But this guy catches you off guard because no one's watching that angle, and then you actually end up dying for it. So that's how it all. That's kind of the what's it called? The butterfly effect of how you died there. The death, I think, given the situation, I think this death was unavoidable. Like, the enemy team is so loud you can't hear the cast, so I don't blame you. Maybe there's a world where you have the game sense to realize, oh, the cast is missing, but that's pretty ridiculous. Let's be real. Anyway, unavoidable death in this case. It was avoidable if you had better back row. Yeah, I wouldn't be main here. You need to go left. You're just not going to be able to do anything in main, especially against Reinhardt. You need to go left and you need to play your life. You can even, I mean, you can play as a window. This is good for you as well. Just don't go main, man. Bad Deadeye. Okay, I think you heard Sleep Dart, and this is why you popped this. No, you don't even hear Sleep Dart. This isn't... Look, maybe you do this because your tank is on point, but realistically, what is going to happen? There's so much cover for these guys. You're at the start of a choke. There's just really not... Like, this is never going to work for you. I think... Let's see what cooldowns. They use sleep, they miss. Okay, that's... This guy... This Ana just sucks. Okay? But they have charge, and this guy has full shield. This guy can literally swing this corner and pin you. I don't know why he doesn't. Right? Like, this is a misplay from the Rhine and the Ana. You should have died here, to be real. This is a bad Deadeye. Generally, how I think about Deadeye is I would rather you not use Deadeye. Here's the situations where I use Deadeye. I use Deadeye, number 1, when I'm nanoed. It can be really good when you're nanoed. Number 2, when I have a deep flank. Let's say, for example, the enemy team is on fighting, and you're coming from this side. Your team is coming from this side, and you, for some reason, have a flank like this behind. I'll pop Deadeye here. It'll be really good here because it'll force people to deal with you. Okay. Here, they have cover. Of course, it's not going to work. But basically, I use it for 1v1s. I use it for... Like, if I was 1v1ing a Tracer on this side of the map, I would just pop Deadeye and kill her. And then... But a lot of the time, I'd rather you just not use Deadeye because it'll get you killed. It'll waste time. And it just won't be beneficial for your team. Like, in this situation, you should have died. It's not beneficial for your team, and it just wastes time. Like, it's just not good. So, err on the side of not using Deadeye. That cast dies because he sucks. Like, it's not because you're good. Yeah, there's nothing you can really do here. This is fine. I mean, I think this is all fine. This was your fault. This fight was your fault. I mean, maybe it's not your fault in the sense of, like... I think it's hard to say. You know what? Scratch that. I think it's probably fine. In terms of the fight... Hold on. Let me... Jesus, I'm walking all over myself here. I think the outcome of this fight... I don't know, man. Whatever, we're just gonna move on. Everything about what I said about Deadeye still stands. Okay, so... Yeah, come off. It's way stronger. You can't... Okay, look, you just get a free headshot on this Ashe. Bam, she dies. That's the power of the off angle. I think that's about it on this point. You end up coming here, but... Yeah, see... Oh, you actually end up killing 2 on this side of the map. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this fight is so good for you. It's so good for you. You should always be coming here. But anyway, that's kind of the big points I had on first. Everything else I'm not too worried about. You played pretty well. This map... Okay, we're gonna just fly through this. For some reason, you're allergic to the right side. Cassidy is not good on this map, just straight up. The only place he is good is on this right side of the map, and you never come here. I don't know why. So that's why it feels like you do nothing this point, because you actually do nothing, because you can't. Because all you're doing is coming main and coming this left side. This side sucks for you, because this fight is out of your effective range, or it's just about out of your effective range, right? From here to here. So this fight's not good for you. There's also really limited cover. The only mini is all the way back here, or right here in the open. Like, it sucks. This off angles, if you can get here, can be okay at times. But then again, you're in the open. You have no cover. Like, there's not a lot of stuff you can do. So the reason this side is stronger for you is because there's 2 ways to get here. You can come this coast side. You can roll from here to here. That you can make this distance. So you can come this far away out of spawn if you want. You can just path this way, roll over, walk this way for a huge flank. But this fight here is good for you. You can shoot through this if you want. You can walk around the drum, use the drum as cover. There's a mega here. You can play around this mega too. Like, this whole side is good for you. And if you win the fight, you have this window. This window is really strong. It's really strong as Cassidy. Because not only can you shoot people from here, you can come out wide and kill supports. And you can make this jump from here back up to the window. It gives you a lot of options. And you also want to be on this side of the map because you deny this side of the map from the enemy team. So that's the thing is Cassidy. I mentioned on our first point. You want to be denying space from the enemy team, particularly against Tracers and Genjis, and just staying alive, right? In this case, you'd be marking probably the Ashe, probably the Ana, probably the Kiri, right? You'd a lot of power, but you just come in and shoot tank. Like this is not how Cass is most effectively played. I also, if I am coming left, I'm not shooting tank at all. I'm going all the way left, just darting there. The thing about Cassidy is because he's so slow, you need to commit all the way to a rotation. Like, you need to commit. You don't have any options. You got to roll early and commit to this. I wouldn't be shooting this Rhine at all. I would just straight up be walking here looking to make this play. Because no one is going to be expecting this play because it's a bad play. But it's a really powerful play if you can get there in time to kill Liana, kill whoever. Right? Like, I wouldn't even be shooting that Rhine. Yeah, see, if you were here like 2 seconds earlier, you would have had the fight on the Ana and killed her. Yeah, and then we just spend the whole point on this side of the map. Like, that's how this side of the map just sucks. And we also shouldn't be on point here. Like, imagine if we were positioned here at the beginning of the fight right now. Look at this. And what are they going to do about it, too? What are they going to do about it? Nothing. They can't do anything, right? They have that... In high elos, they always take this space. And it's really oppressive. You need to be fighting here. But we just never fight there, man. We always come main. Like, I don't even care about whatever micro you're doing. Like, are you flanking? Or even some of the macro. Like, are you flanking on this side of the map? Because that side of the map is just so bad for you. Like, you just don't want to be there at all. Like, here, I think you think about going there, but you don't. Why? Like, why do we not think about coming this way? Like, this... Like, why do you think... Like, do you think this matchup's bad for you? Because it can be, right? If the Ashe is here, of course this fight's bad for you. But maybe you just don't know about this option. Or this side of the map as a result. As a whole, right? You have this. And even if the Ashe comes there, or you just walk back this way, right? Like, you have options. You can also get up here if you can. I think you'd have to, like, stand on the railing and roll or jump or something. But, yeah, just... You have options. Stop going in. I'm actually just gonna skip all a second because that's the mistake you make. On third here, generally I come this right side because I mean it ends up being the case in this map. Snipers like to play here. Sometimes Kiriko's play here. Stuff with range. Torbjorn play. Whoa! Do you see those boxes clipping out? That's crazy. I didn't even know that. But anyway, the snipers will play on this side of the map. And this is not a good fight for you. This is kind of like second with the big gong in the middle or the bell in the middle. You basically never want to be playing on this side. It's really bad for Cassidy. You always want to be on the right side. There's an exception where if you win a fight, you can deny this mini room. This is a really good fight for you in that mini room. But you basically never want to go left. But basically when I'm up here, I always go this way. Because you're open to that flank on that left side. And this fight isn't really good for you. But this one is you can play a little bit safer. And if your tank takes space, you can come here and then you have more options. The advantage of coming on this left side is you have this little circle, or not circle, cylinder you can play around. But even then, you're just a little bit too close to the enemy tank. So I just don't really... This angle has never worked for me. I always go right side. Yeah, it's just really awkward. And then never do this. This is really bad. So the reason this is bad, and you actually end up feeling why, is because this effective range, this is out of your effective range. I think it's just barely. I think if Cass had 25 meters, you might be able to fight this, but you have a 20-meter drop off. And this fight's just not good for you. And also, this flank isn't really that good either due to the high ground. Like, if you come up here, it's going to be awkward because, like, this Juno, for example, if you're here, you can kind of barely see her. Right, and she can just walk backwards and you can no longer see her. Right, this isn't a good flank map generally as Cassidy. I'm not worried about aim or micro or anything. Yeah, but you just can't do anything. Your team, you notice here's kind of the big point here is you had no impact on the outcome of this fight. That was entirely your team just clutching up and winning. Okay, and when we're trying to climb, we want to minimize the amount of fights where we have no or little impact. We want to have a ton of impact every single fight. And that fight, that time we had no impact at all. So what we should have been doing is just sitting up here and fighting, because there's just no good flanks on this map. There's no really like other space to take. It's literally just fight. And I like this from you. I like marking this angle. But I think if you are going to be playing this angle, the only person that's really going to be flanking on the enemy team is going to be their DPS. They end up swapping Bastion, but it would be Ashe. And I would be listening to Ashe for Ashe cooldowns. If I hear Ashe cooldowns, I know I don't really need to be playing this side of the map. You actually see Ashe because you go wide here. The problem with this, I actually like this in theory, but at the end of the day, this is just not a good cast flank, right? Like I like the theory of, oh, I'm going to deny a flank and then push behind when they wrap, but there's two problems. This sightline is way too long and way too far. Okay, that's problem number one. Number two is they're playing Juno. And anytime there's a Juno and a Lucio, you generally want to avoid these kind of plays because if the enemy team is stacked on one side, what is Juno going to do? Especially when they're playing Ryan and want to push forward, they're going to speed ring. Okay, and when they speed ring, you're not going to be able to do anything. I don't think they speed ring in this case, but in higher elos they will, and then you'll just be way too late for the flank. Yeah, so in this case, we're just late because, not because this is a bad play, but because this is a bad map for this play. So, yeah, so it's not really a lot we can do. Yeah, you need to just die, honestly. This fight's lost. Yeah. Okay. So, in this case, and you can kind of see a pattern in how I play Cassidy. I would be going left side. I'd be going left side. This isn't my effective range, but at least I can do something. Coming out right, it's going to be so awkward because you're going to have to walk out. You're going to have 3 angles to look at. Like, this is a very low agency play. Like, I think the high agency play is come left, shoot them, be annoying, and when you find the opportunity, come play this pillar. And then when you find the opportunity, just start poking and try to find a kill, right? That's what I do every time. That's not what I do every time, but that's what I err on the side of doing. Okay. In Overwatch 1, Speed Noon used to be like a pretty okay play. Because tanks had so much less HP, you could actually kill them. But in this game, it sucks. Like you basically never want to be using Deadeye like this. Like it only really works in coordinated play or if you get lucky. And dude, you're walking into the entire enemy team. Of course your team is here as well that can help you. But it's just and on paper this actually seems pretty good, but bro, I've just done this play so many times, it just doesn't work. I'm telling you, it just doesn't work. Like dude, honestly the better play is to come wide and Deadeye. Because imagine this, from here they can't play around corner. They have to back up or kill you. Those are the only 2 options, right? Coming down main with Speed Noon, like, yeah, you die because you're a risk. Like they don't have a way to help you. There's no like real damage mitigation on your team. Like, and in another universe, you have a Sigma tank, and maybe that Sigma throws the wrong shield and grasps in the wrong location, and you die for it. Like there's so much stuff that can go wrong with this play here, but this play. Come out wide and Deadeye? Nothing really. You just need to dodge sleep dart. That's it. And even if you get slept, the whole enemy team's gonna be shooting you. That's an opportunity for your team to push forward. Like, it's just higher agency than depending on your team and going out main with Deadeye. And then your Orisa just clutches up because she's goaded. But yeah, whatever. I think, are we late? What happens here? The Ryan dies. Okay, and the enemy team is back already. Okay, so yeah, I just wouldn't be here right now. I would be top right, but whatever. Yeah, you don't want to be. I mean, like against better players, you just die. Like I just don't think this is any good. You don't really want to be in a place with no cover. Maybe it's fine because you know they're down tank, but I just wouldn't even take the risk. Like I wouldn't be on this left side of the map at all right now. Okay, what happens here? Okay, we pop beam. Minus here. Okay, so. Oh, that's a little awkward. I think the only problem here, honestly, you're kind of screwed because you can. And notice how this is the butterfly effect again. You came left when you didn't need to, and as a result, now you're kind of stuck on this side of the map, right? If you just rolled out right side, you would have been fine, because you can play around here. You can, you have options. I mean, you'd be zoned by Bob right now, but you at least have options. Here, you don't. You're kind of stuck, right? So let's kind of go back into why did we even come left in the first place. So you come left in the first place because of this Rhine. You think maybe I can help kill this Rhine? Okay, well, he's dead now. Where do we need to be? This side. We need to be this side right now. Because we're also down one, right? So whenever you're down one like that, marking this angle becomes less important. It becomes more about playing with my team. Okay? So going left is bad. Yeah. So even there, even though you've committed this far, you should be like, okay, yeah, the enemy team is here. I need to be with my team right now. Being with your team does not mean walking in the open and going for a flank, okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay, so yeah, so honestly, any micro you do here doesn't matter because this is just the wrong play to make in general. Yeah, let's keep going. Don't fall off. Don't fall off. Even this is out of your high ground, out of your range. How can she dodge your bullets? She can't. I think the walls might come back up, but you really can't. In this high ground, you need to be up here. Like if you're on being on the ground here just sucks so bad for Cassidy. So now you're down here, and the rotation to go back up is long. It's very long. Yeah, so you don't want to be here either on Cassidy, right? Because think about it. What options do you have when you're here? You can walk forward, and if maybe you grab this mega, but it's so far out of the fight. Look how far you have to go, dude. You got to go all the way over here, and the enemy team can just do whatever they want. Like, this is bad for you. And you can come up here, and this is bad for you too. There's no cover. It's long range. Like, you just generally don't want to be here at all as Cassidy, unless we talk, like I mentioned at the beginning, you're marking this angle from flankers, right? But that's only after fight is won and you're even, or your team is here. So yeah, so we just never want to be here. Yeah, like look how awkward this is for you, right? We want it to be here, because imagine you're here right now. You can fight for this angle. Yeah, you can fight for this angle. You can play your life, and you can be shooting this. These guys won't be able to turn around because they have to deal with you. They won't be able to shoot your Orisa, or if they don't deal with you, you kill them. Right? That's the thing. So enemy. So where's our? Are we staggering right now? What's going on? So I think okay, so we're coming back from spawn. I think either play works. You can go left or right here. I think either is probably fine. The reason I say that is because the enemy team isn't here yet. If the enemy team is here, I honestly think going left is the better play. But if the enemy team is not here, I think either is fine. You might err on the side of doing this play because this side of the map is just bad for you. But at least if you go this way, you can contest people, and you can look to contest people. You can look to make a rotation. So either one I think is fine. I think there's a good way to think about either one.
Group up with me. No. Hello there. Hi.
Yeah, I don't like playing this left side. I just come this way and wrap around. I think it's just stronger. It's fine. Shoot tank is fine. I mean, all you can do here is shoot tanks. Nothing else to do. Yeah, so see, so this is also just a kind of another chain reaction. Butterfly effect. You die here? No, but you lose the fight. Okay, let's imagine an alternate universe where instead of playing this left side, we walk this we just walk this way as Cassidy. Okay, we walk this way, we shoot the tank from the side, keep shooting the tank from the side. Maybe we're like, okay, this tank, we pop Bastion for him, maybe I can do something else. You walk even further this way. Look at this fight. This is a good fight for you. If you swing out wide, you can get this mini. I don't recommend you do that, but you can play here and you can fight these people. And what happens if you fight this people? All of a sudden, the Juno can't heal the D.Va. The D.Va will die faster. All of a sudden, this Sojourn can't put out pressure on the right side, or on the tanks. So who dies faster? The D.Va, right? So you can indirectly deal damage to the D.Va by coming on this right flank. And this is why I like this more. You have more options. You can go to backline. It's closer. It's a good sight line for you. You're not open to the enemy fire here, right? You just shouldn't be here. I mean, you end up doing something because your character is built to do something with his gun of shooting, but that's it. Like, that's all you're doing. You're not making a play. This is a low agency play for you. Not low agency, low impact, sorry. Yeah, and notice how you feel powerless, right? You feel like you can't do anything. It's like there's people everywhere. Well, there's people everywhere because you're in the middle of the battlefield. You're not on an extremity, right? You're not on the edge. If you're here, it's so much easier to understand the fight because everyone is this direction. When you're here, they can be this direction and they can be that direction, right? So keep that in mind. And you lose this result, or you lose this as a result. Let's see. Yeah, so this is just the same problem again. I can understand. Wait, did you die, or how did you get here? No, you live. You live from the other fight. Okay, so this is even worse, actually. So you notice the Ashe over there? You just can't fight her. She's out of your range. Okay.
My ultimate is ready.
We're rapping, dude. This is the play. You rap. Of course. So whenever you're making a play like this, just keep in mind you need to listen for tank. Okay. If tank is pushing you, you need to back out as soon as possible. Like back out really early. Tank, you hear boost somewhere else, dude. I'm rapping. I'm rapping right now, dude. I'm going. Man, actually, maybe I'd wait. I don't know. I don't know the full context because I wasn't really paying attention, but when I see my tank when I see my team starting to get here, I'm looking to make a play. Yeah, I definitely would not be going main, that's for sure. I'd be doing literally anything else from this because this is just so bad. Not a good Deadeye. Why? Because look how much cover they have. You deny point, but is it really going to make that big a difference? No, the D.Va ends up being behind you, but that's because she's a moron. In a different world, this D.Va's not behind you, and she's just playing here, okay? And she just DMs you, or you die, or you get slept. There's too much cover to hide behind here for this Deadeye to be any good. Yeah, like, we need to be Deadeyeing. Like, you just needed to... At some point in the game, you just needed to do this play. Like, you just needed to come here and fight here. Because you're not doing that, this is free. Like, this is just free for them. Like, Cassidy's not a good... I'm being a dead horse, but anyway. But yeah, I think you guys lose. Yeah, they recap and you lose. Yeah, so this game was your fault. I think this kind of just came down to map knowledge and just knowing how to play the map. I think, honestly, your micro is, like, largely fine. You have climbing macro, as in, like, as long as you make better macro plays, you'll be climbing anyway. Yeah, you just need to make this rotation on third. You needed to on second. Let's go back here. On second, you need to play this side of the map. Pretty much always. You basically never want to be left side. Even if you're trying to mark flankers, there's none of these fights are good for you against flankers. Maybe only this, but not really, because they have this big wall for them to hide behind. Like, you don't want to be finding people here, and generally as Cass. And then on first, I think you played first pretty well, and this is why you actually win first, because you play it well. You're actually high impact. I think Cass is just naturally good at this map because of how these fights work. Like in this main area, this is like all pretty much in your effective range, and this is a really strong play, and you did this correctly. I see a lot of Casses play here, and they end up dying a lot because of this, because this cover kind of sucks, and you can get pushed out easily. Yeah, you can also think about playing this side of the map as well as Cass, and just try it out. I think it's better, but I mean, you had results playing main here, so you know either one is fine. But yeah, I think that's it. I think you could have won this game. And I think if you fix that macro on Busan, you should be good. I will let you know, I'm a Cass main. I play Busan on... I play Cass 50-50 on this map. I like to play Ashe as well, because Ashe is just kind of strong playing this high ground. I always play Cass on Mecha base though, which is this map, because this, and I mentioned it a lot, but this rotation is just so strong. It's so strong. And I feel like Ashe, you're a little bit more powerless because there's not a lot of great cover here, so you're kind of stuck on one angle. Yeah, I play Cass here sometimes, but Ashe is just generally stronger. But Busan is my highest win rate map. I have like a 90% win rate on this map. So just keep that in, and I played this map like 15 times. So I always just kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, there's a review.